Did you know that the average person checks their phone 96 times a day? That's more than once every 15 minutes. This constant immersion in technology has become a normal part of our daily lives. It's as routine as drinking coffee in the morning. But this habitual screen time is not without its consequences. Our brains are being bombarded with information, notifications and alerts at an unprecedented rate. Quite a staggering figure, isn't it? But what does this mean for our brains? It's no secret that the modern world is filled with screens. From our phones to our computers, our attention is constantly being pulled in different directions. This constant tug of war for our attention is a challenging balancing act, isn't it? On one hand, technology provides us with an array of conveniences at our fingertips. On the other, it demands our constant engagement, which can come at the expense of our brain health. When we are perpetually glued to screens, our cognitive functions and mental well-being can take a hit. Imagine your brain as a muscle. Just like the muscles in your body, it needs to be exercised to stay fit and healthy. But when we spend countless hours scrolling through social media or binge-watching shows, we're not really giving it the workout it needs, are we? Doing activities that stimulate our brains like reading, meditating, or even having a good old-fashioned conversation can help counteract these effects. It seems we have a modern-day conundrum on our hands, don't we? But don't just take my word for it. Let's dig into some of the science behind screen time and attention span. Imagine your brain as an intricate, bustling city. Each task you perform is like a vehicle, traveling along your neural pathways. Now, when you're constantly switching between tasks, like when you're multitasking on various apps on your phone, you're essentially causing a traffic jam in your brain city. This is what scientists refer to as cognitive load, and it can lead to decreased productivity, increased stress, and ultimately, a shorter attention span. Several studies have shown that heavy users of smartphones often score lower on tests that measure attention span. One such study, published in the Journal of the Association for Consumer Research, found that just the mere presence of a smartphone reduces cognitive capacity. Even when the phone was switched off or turned face down, participants' ability to focus and perform tasks was significantly impaired. Another alarming study from the University of California, San Francisco, revealed that high screen time can even alter the structure of our brains. Using brain scans, researchers found that heavy internet users developed less gray matter in certain brain regions, areas that are responsible for processing information. There's also the blue light emitted by our screens. This light can disrupt our sleep patterns, which in turn can affect our cognitive functions. According to a study from Harvard Medical School, exposure to blue light suppresses the secretion of melatonin, a hormone that influences our circadian rhythms. So what does all this mean? It means that our brains are not designed to be constantly plugged in. They need time to rest, to process, to engage in deep thinking. And while technology has undoubtedly brought many benefits, it's crucial that we find a balance. It's not about completely ditching our devices, but rather about using them wisely and giving our brains the break they need. So the science is clear. Too much screen time can indeed be harmful to our attention span and overall cognitive function. But it's not all doom and gloom. Our brains are amazing organs with remarkable resilience and adaptability. You see, our brains are quite a marvel. They're not just static, unchanging masses of tissue, but dynamic powerhouses that can adapt, change, and even improve with time. They're designed to learn, create, and solve problems, and how we choose to engage them can significantly impact their health and performance. Imagine this. You're at the gym, and you decide to only work out your right arm. Day after day, you lift weights, but only with that one arm. What happens? Naturally, your right arm becomes stronger, while your left arm remains the same. You're out of balance. The same principle applies to our brains. If we only engage them in one type of activity, like staring at screens, we're not giving them the full workout they need. This is where brain activities like reading, meditation, and social interaction come into play. They're like the different exercises in a well-rounded workout routine, each targeting different areas of the brain. Reading, for instance, stimulates the imagination, builds vocabulary, and improves concentration. It's like a weightlifting session for your brain, strengthening cognitive muscles and improving memory. Meditation, on the other hand, is like a brain yoga session. It helps you focus, reduces stress, and even boosts your emotional intelligence. It's about finding balance and peace within, which can have profound effects on your overall mental well-being. Lastly, social interaction is like a cardio workout for the brain. It keeps your mind sharp, improves your mood, and even boosts your creativity. It's about connecting with others, understanding different perspectives, and navigating complex social dynamics. In essence, engaging our brains in these activities is like giving it a much-needed workout. It's about keeping our cognitive functions sharp, our mental well-being in check, and our brains healthy. And the best part? Unlike a gym membership, these brain workouts are free, accessible, and can be done anywhere, anytime. So, remember, just as you would not ignore your physical fitness, don't neglect your brain fitness. In essence, engaging our brains in these activities is like giving it a much-needed workout. So, what's the takeaway here? We're living in a digital age, where technology is seemingly intertwined with every aspect of our lives. While these advancements have made our lives more convenient, they've also led us down a path of near-constant screen time. This constant exposure to screens is not without its consequences. It can affect our cognitive functions, our attention span, and our mental well-being. But fear not, because there's a solution. It's all about balance. We must strive to balance our time spent in the digital world with activities that engage our brain and promote our overall well-being. Activities like reading, meditating, or simply having a good old-fashioned conversation with someone can do wonders for our brain health. These activities not only provide a much-needed break from the screens, but also stimulate our minds in ways that scrolling through social media or watching TV simply can't. In the end, it's all about finding that sweet spot between our digital and non-digital lives. Now it's your turn. We've journeyed together through the reality of screen time, the challenge of balance, the science behind the screen, and the power of the brain. But what about your journey? How do you strike a balance between the digital world and your brain activities? Do you meditate, read, or engage in social interactions? Let us know your strategies, your challenges, and your triumphs. Remember, the first step towards balance is awareness. Let's start the conversation.